I'm Brittany.
I'm Andrew.
Holly. Mackenzie.
And I'm Lindsay.
Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Nelson Mandela. I gathered several sources for my speech today, including the LeBron James Family Foundation.org, NBA.com, Civic Center Enterprises.net, Goodreads.com, BoostUp.org, AmericanPromise.org, and DropoutNation.net. My name is Elisabeth Jackson, and today I'm going to talk to you about the LeBron James Family Foundation and the need for donation and volunteers in order to decrease high school dropout rates. LeBron James Family Foundation. I don't want any of my kids to become a statistic and drop out of school. LeBron James. That was said during his interview when he was talking about his foundation. Student dropouts are real, and you can help change that. LeBron James could have been a statistic and dropped out himself, but someone stepped in and took him in to their home to raise so that he would have a stable family. Each year, nearly 1.3 million students aren't graduating, and across the country, only 75% of high school students make it to graduation. I know we all went to high school in Texas, and I remember being in high school and some of my classmates didn't make it all of the way to senior year, and it was due to them choosing not to continue their education. Which is sad, but there are so many circumstances with the society today, such as teen pregnancy, poverty, kids not having enough resources, or not feeling like they're able to mentally or emotionally handle what requires them at school. Over the course of their careers, high school dropouts earn $260,000 less than graduates. And high school graduates, non-high school graduates, play a huge part in long-term unemployment, which goes into welfare and other government aid because they don't have their own income and they can qualify for those services. When if they would have been able to finish their high school education, they could have had other opportunities to provide for themselves. Every state in the nation has thousands of students drop out each year. High school dropouts have a greater chance of living in poverty and incarceration. And non-high school graduates are 7 times less likely to own a home in their lifetimes than high school graduates. Going back to the incarceration thing, 93% of inmates don't have high school diplomas. One of the big problems in this industry is the whole human capital chain. Can be improved. A great teacher in a dysfunctional school or a great school in a dysfunctional district isn't going to affect the change we need. We need to change the whole system. And that was at dropoutnation.net. And it's basically saying that students need more than just a good teacher to make an impact on their lives. They need a whole unit of helpers. They need a community and support in many different ways in order to finish their educations because a lot of families aren't the same anymore. Because 7,000 students a day drop out of school, every person is affected in some way. High school dropouts increase costs for taxpayers through assisted programs, and dropouts tend to have children at younger ages, and the negative effects ripple to their children, most likely in poverty. So the consequences for high school dropouts are economical, their self-worth and their self-efficiency, and their social and relationship. What can be done about high school dropouts? As soon as LeBron James had his career and had financial status to where he could donate large amounts to a charity, he established the LeBron James Family Foundation in the Akron, Ohio area, and it starts with children younger I think it's 3rd grade, and then they continue on their progress, and they're like monitored, but they're also like helped, and they're raised with like a family not living in the home, but they like are helped throughout and given supplies, and they're like checked on through 12th grade, and then once they're in 12th grade, the foundation helps them to get into college as well. But it wouldn't be possible without donations and volunteers and people becoming aware and educated that this issue is real, and it's not just people that say, I don't want to go to school anymore. There are other issues that fall into place, and it starts really young in some cases. So if you become aware, there's also organizations in your areas, but this one you can also order bracelets online. The I Promise bracelet, it's a symbol saying that the kids promise to do their homework, and they promise to try as hard as they can, and they promise to ask to get help. And you can get them on the website. Programs like those have helped decrease high school dropout rates over the last decade. There are several programs similar to LeBron James's program, but I advocate it because I am a huge fan. If we continue to help and each person makes a little effort, then eventually the percentage will almost disappear of high school dropouts. And a high school diploma is a minimum education requirement in the United States. Without it, you're pretty much almost inadequate educationally. LeBron James' struggle, he was at risk until someone reached out and he wanted to give others hope. And you can all give hope from just the simple fact of if you donate $5, someone can have pencils that normally wouldn't have pencils. And there's different ways that the money goes to. They give transportation to those that, you know, maybe the bus isn't the best way for them in their area, or they want to participate in other activities, or tutoring or such, but they can't because of other outside circumstances. Whatever the cost of our libraries, the price is cheap compared to that of an ignorant nation. And this just goes into however much effort we put in as a society with, you know, our effort and our funds, then we'll get that out of it. But if we ignore it and think that that the underprivileged will take care of themselves, then that's not just a burden on them, it's a burden on everyone, and we want to succeed as a society. So if we all just take little steps, then the overall picture would be prettier. And in conclusion, the dropout rates in the United States are an issue for all citizens. Together we can invest in the lives of the future. And I'd like you to please think about how a simple change can go a long way. Thank you. And